We are commencing legal action against Mrs. Meghan Markle. Her televised allegations, particularly the Oprah interview, have inflicted undue harm upon the royal family. An apology no longer suffices. The matter will now proceed through the courts.
On a sharp, chilly London autumn morning, the magnificent gates of Buckingham Palace swung, exposed to countless flashing cameras and the din of impatient reporters, everyone feeling that something significant was about to happen. December 1st was the date, 2025, and what had been developed as a standard update on the royal engagement was anything but typical. As Charles the King too appeared at the podium, his expression hard and uncompromising under the lean heavens, the air crackled with an almost electrifying anticipation. Advisors with spotless fitted suits on either side of him, shifting documents and muttering silently. But everyone's attention was on the monarch. He aligned his notes, he cleared his throat and started speaking. Serene but brimming with life weight. "We are filing a lawsuit. In opposition to Mrs. Meghan Markle," he said. "Every word is like a hammer. Her broadcast accusations, especially the Oprah's interview, has caused undue damage to the royal family. An expression of regret no longer works. This issue will now go through the legal system." The proclamation loomed over the throng like a thunderclap that shook the group press. The phones buzzed frantically. Reporters hurried to send dispatches, as the shutters of cameras clicked endlessly. This has never happened before. Never before in history had a British king in power personally started a defamation litigation against a relative. The aforementioned interview aired almost 5 years earlier on March 7th. 2021 had attracted over 17 million viewers in the United States alone and triggered intense worldwide debates regarding race, mental health, and the private workings of the monarchy. During that conversation, Meghan, Prince and the Duchess of Sussex Harry had made shocking claims, expressing worries regarding their youngster, the skin tone of Archie, from the unidentified royals, little assistance for her mental health issues, as well as emotions of vulnerability in the organization. At first, the palace's reaction had been cautious and methodical. A declaration barely 2 days after being released stated sorrow over the experiences of the couple, recognizing that memories could differ, but emphasizing that worries, especially those pertaining to race, would be treated as a family affair and handled in privacy. However, the wounds did not heal with time. Novels, documentaries, and later the Sussexes' interviews preserved the tensions high, and Harry's memoir from 2023, additional levels of personal charges made against his father and my brother. In light of this litigation, King Charles was making it quite evident that there was no more patience. Insiders explained the relocation as the result of years of suffered insults, where personal attempts reconciliation has failed time and time again. According to one unnamed source, the king was distressed by this action, yet finally decided that it was essential to protect the integrity of the monarchy amid increasing public interest in stories driven by celebrities. The media conference took place in the midst of increased safety. Outside, demonstrators and the streets were packed with fans, waving opposing banners. Reading messages, the Crown's desire for justice clashed with signs supporting Meghan's right to free expression, demonstrating the extreme division in public perception. Charles said inside, passionately believing in service and togetherness as the timeless principles of monarchy. However, the consequences of his declaration spread much beyond the confines of the palace. Lawful analysts promptly conjectured about an uphill battle to come. Cases of defamation in the UK demands evidence of untruth and evident injury, made more difficult by the transmission of the interview worldwide. Nevertheless, the drama captivated onlookers. Globally, making analogies to historical royal scandals like the 1930 SIX's abdication dilemma. This wasn't typical family conflict. It was an intense fight for narrative dominance in the time of immediate worldwide media. The Oprah and impression of Winfrey's conversation had already been permanent mark. Transmitted from a calm Harry, Meghan, and the California Garden talked about taking a step back from senior royal responsibilities in 2020, an occasion called the exit. Meghan was open about thoughts of suicide while she was pregnant, claiming that royal officials withheld assistance to prevent unfavorable perceptions, with Harry confirmed her story. They additionally demonstrated that family conversations had voiced worries regarding Archie's skin tone, suggesting racial prejudice without naming a person. The immediate aftermath sent shockwaves through Buckingham Palace. An announcement on behalf of Queen Elizabeth II conveyed her sorrow and confirmed that the issues would be conducted in private, a traditional royal approach. However, the media craze was unstoppable. Tabloids in the UK denounced the statements from a couple as treachery, while American pundits lauded their courage. The consequences was reflected in polls. According to a 2021 YouGov survey, 48% of Britons thought poorly of the interview in comparison to just 29% of respondents gave positive answers. As time went on, the story changed and became more intense. The Sussex Netflix of 2022, the show re-examined the topics of an outmoded and unsupportive monarchy. However, SUES' memoir asserts of physical altercations with Prince William and King's emotional detachment Charles, the Prince of Wales at the time. These public interest was maintained by publications in the accusations, presenting them as a component of a more extensive institutional shortcomings. Royal biographers such as Robert Lacey mentioned in the most recent editions of Oprah's Battle of the Brothers interview compelled the palace to face bias and diversity in ways that were previously steer clear. This resulted in projects like training on unconscious bias for employees. However, some disputed the assertions lacked detail, leaving lots of space for interpretation. For instance, the remarks about skin color were subsequently discussed in Kobe's 2023 OMIC Endgame, a collection with letters between Charles and Meghan, although without direct quotations, creating uncertainty that encouraged ongoing discussions. For some, this was seen as indications of structural problems, others as inflated to elicit pity. The palace, following its "never complain," never described the motto, "stay away from public rebuttals." However, confidential disclosures disclosed increasing dissatisfaction with what officials seen as biased stories. As the interview's 5th anniversary approached, royal tensions simmered, viewers thinking as to whether there was yet hope for reconciliation. The disclosure of the lawsuit damaged that hope, shifting the interview from historical recollection to current legal action. Why file a lawsuit now, over 5 years later? Reports show an accumulation of unaddressed complaints that were exacerbated by later media initiatives in Sussex. The first containment tactics didn't work, while the Netflix documentary and Harry's memoir series enhanced the narrative, undermining the patience of the palace. One important element was the alleged commercialization of familial conflicts, including agreements with the media earning millions of dollars and varying royal ratings of approval. By 2024, after Charles' coronation, surveys revealed the monarch's recovering, but persistent pessimism toward the Sussexes continued. An IPSO October 2025 survey results showed Meghan's popularity is only 20% in the UK, down from 25% the year before. Harry, however, was at 28%. This decrease, according to insiders, led to a strategic reconsideration. Quietness had permitted false information to proliferate. Lawful there was also precedent. Meghan's 2021 triumph for privacy against related newspapers demonstrated that courts could step in. Amid debates in the media, individual health priorities were further altered by the crisis. Charles's cancer diagnosis in 2024 and Catherine's personal struggles highlighted the necessity of stability. Reports indicate these incidents led the monarch to consider legacy, observing unsolved accusations as disgrace to the throne. According to reports, classified briefings included evidence of damage to one's reputation, diminished travel to royal locations, and tense Commonwealth relations are partially connected to criticisms of colonialism in the Oprah interview. The choice became clear in mid-2025 while Harry's US visa in spare after admissions, exposing discrepancies in public revelations. Palace attorneys took inspiration from rejected cases of defamation, such as Samantha Meghan versus Markle, contending that the Oprah's assertions strayed into deception, suggesting malice without evidence. Additionally, timing in line with greater openness changes, turning the case into a defense method to take back control of the story. In the background, Prince William and Princess Catherine became the main supporters. As a prospective monarch and queen consort, they observed the public in Sussex revelations as existential dangers to the monarchy, as well as their own heritage. Sources with knowledge of palace dynamics William's frustration was characterized as boiling. After the spare is released, alleged physical altercations, disclosed privately discussions and allegations of favoritism was a serious violation of royal protocol and trust. This opinion was consistent with more general reports of the rift, hitting record lows even prior to the conflict between Meghan and Harry increased, due to varying methods for obligation and media participation. Catherine, a family mediator by tradition, he developed particularly in her posture, particularly after the 2022 Netflix documentary series depicted her as distant in their first interactions alongside Meghan. A representation that is at odds with her reputation as a kind person, devoted to the development of young children and reasons related to mental health. A Vanity from 2025 Fairness highlighted their decisiveness. Impact in similar royal crises, like depriving Prince Andrew of titles in the midst of controversy, proof of a pattern of action to protect institutional standing. Current reports imply that Catherine's viewpoint was formed by individual struggles, such as her cancer diagnosis in 2024, intensifying her determination to preserve family harmony. Conflicts with other royals are revealed by sources over attempts at reconciliation, with Harry promoting limits while occasionally olive branches are extended, like implying a possible comeback home to test allegiances without Meghan. Insider reports detail the emergency councils, where William vehemently disagreed that unresolved accusations damage public trust in the monarchy, making important action is necessary. Beneath the piercing camera glare and the incessant chatter of London's media engines, King Charles's audacious legal action shocked waves that passed through the public and the palace similar. He brings up polling a lot. Information such as an IPSO study from 2025 demonstrating his approval rating rising to 70% in the midst of his Earthshot Prize programs. A stark as opposed to the Sussex's deteriorating figures. This thorough data-driven technique demonstrates William's astute strategy, honed by years of experience as a prospective heir and an relentless dedication to modernization the public perception of the monarchy perception. Catherine adds to this methodical approach by concentrating on the human component, especially the health of their three kids, Princess Charlotte, Prince George, and she tries to protect Prince Louis from the constant media frenzy circling their aunt and uncle. Her personal health struggles in 2024 alone heightened this instinct for protection. According to people close to the palace, it caused her to implore King Charles to act decisively, defining the lawsuit as a personal grudge, but in order to re-establish the integrity and legitimacy of the organization. Biographies like Katie Nichols' William and Catherine are portrayed by the new royals as a strong, unified front. Their collaboration, established by public examination, individual trials, and private health issues, stands in stark contrast to Harry's growing loneliness in California. This disparity is apparent in William's seldom but insightful public recognition of his sibling, frequently gently tinged with recollections regarding responsibility and accountability. In 2025, William was engaged, mentioned family ties in the midst of alienation, indicating a generational turnaround, whereas Charles has historically Williams tended to be forgiving. Strategy emphasizes long-term maintenance of the monarchy over transient reconciliations. In this context, the legal action is not just a legal ploy. It is a calculated step to establish precise limits, making sure that the story of the monarchy is still centered on service instead than controversy. This strategy has influenced a larger palace tactics. Now, William and Catherine play crucial roles in expediting important choices. Experts observe that their profound comprehension of popular opinion, media cycles, as well as royal branding portrays them as the creators of the crown's changing public persona. Their influence extends beyond crises administration, planning for engagement, and reputation management approach, indicating a more historical and contemporary time period for the monarchy. The renowned Oprah Winfrey, the media tycoon responsible for the 2021 interview involving Harry and Meghan, is allegedly grappling with deep regret for its long-term consequences. Sources near her inner circle indicates that she is considering whether the broadcast unintentionally increased conflict inside the family of kings. Although no formal statement has been made public, insiders assert that Oprah sees the cytone as a crucial point that escalated well beyond her initial goals were to cultivate compassion and comprehension. A 2025 this emotion was captured in a Newsweek piece, via an unnamed comment from a producer, complimenting Meghan's sincerity, but quietly drawing attention to Oprah's retrospection apologies for the interview's polarizing effect on public opinion. Analysis and commentary on social media from sources such as Quora Conversations imply that Oprah might have wished she had asked deeper or more difficult certain stories, possibly reducing some of the criticism. These worries go beyond introspection, intertwined with her worldwide reputation, especially in the UK concentrated media and charitable initiatives. For example, her continuous collaborations with UK broadcasters, and well-being programs that Meghan is involved in under possible scrutiny during the royal legal action. Oprah's involvement in 2025 in the Campaign for Global Wellness Day highlighted programs for accessible health, while highlighting individuals such as Meghan, emphasizing transatlantic partnerships. Likewise, her yearly Meghan's List of Favorite Things highlighted artisanal jam, combining individual endorsements that are commercially successful in the UK markets. Charitable initiatives such as partnerships with Melinda and Meghan regarding digital well-being, French Gates initiatives for young girls that were introduced in Extend to UK, schooling in late 2024 projects that may now encounter consequences for one's reputation. Oprah's Past Harry's Mental Health series started in 2019 and still has an impact British-related documentaries and campaigns to raise awareness, including possible ventures into streaming in Europe platforms. The declaration of King Charles's lawsuit made people more anxious, putting her in a tricky situation junction of public scrutiny and legal perception, as well as brand management. Lawful experts point out the potential for subpoenas for depositions, drawing similarities to her participation in 2022 Samantha Markle's lawsuit for slander in opposition to Meghan, when she was called to testify about communications that are relevant. Tabloid stories frequently overstated Facebook and YouTube say Oprah regrets the interview, a probable misrepresentation for clicks. However, insiders claim that she still honors the Sussex's bravery while striking a balance between empathy and professional caution in a divisive worldwide media landscape. Oprah is allegedly speaking with advisors to protect her reputation and stop additional entanglement. This episode emphasizes the unexpected repercussions of prominent interviews, demonstrating how even the most powerful people have to reconsider the distinctions between journalism, legal risk, as well as advocacy. The legal action refers to defamation laws in the UK that focus on according to the Defamation Act, Leal 2013, that brought the judicial system up to date to strike a balance between reputational defense. A declaration is taken into consideration. Defamatory only if a publication has caused or is anticipated to cause serious damage to the reputation of the claimant. For King Charles, this means demonstrating material harm, monetary loss, and social rejection, or quantifiable decreases in public reputation as opposed to emotional distress on its own. The law created a greater threshold compared to pre-2003 legislation, discouraging unimportant claims while dealing with actual harm. The palace must demonstrate that Meghan's claims in Oprah's interview, allegations of racism, institutional neglect, and prejudice were untrue, disseminated to a third party, and inflicted significant damage to one's reputation. Data from surveys could be used as evidence, displaying declines in ratings of approval or tense relations with other countries. Filed in the High Court of London, the assertion focuses on the interview's claims regarding the hue of Archie's skin, considering the purported disregard for mental health assistance. The palace disputes these assertions, lacking hard evidence, have compromised the monarchy's reputation as a unifying organisation. There is clear jurisdiction, based on the ITV transmission in the UK, which reached millions of people and is still influenced public opinion. The palace might additionally use harmful falsehoods, pertaining to dealing with malicious false claims that result in financial loss. Even so, in reputation disputes, precedents are uncommon. Exist, especially from well-known situations involving royalty. Meghan's triumph in 2021 opposing Associated Newspapers, which duplicated a personal letter addressed to her father, given a top page and damages. I apologize. The focus of that lawsuit was privacy, instead of just defamation. However, it set an example of royal law assertiveness. Prince Harry's accomplishments 2020 legal action against the same publisher because to false statements about his military charity offers a more intimate in parallel. Other precedents for defamation in the UK similar to Johnny Depp's defeat by The Sun in 2020 and the 2024 legal defeat of Lawrence Fox highlight the court's focus on the truth as a safeguard and the danger of unsupported assertions. Crown attorneys are looking for solutions, such as potential compensatory damages in the thousands of dollars, orders to avoid recurrence, and court-mandated retractions to lessen continuing damage. There are still difficulties, particularly with regard to protection of free speech under Article 10 of the European Convention on Human Rights, which safeguards speech unless limitations are required and proportionate. Meghan's group might call defense of the public interest, contending that the interview focused on societal issues. such as mental health and race, needing evidence of a public belief that is rational advantage. The laws of the United Kingdom are comparatively plaintiff-friendly in contrast to the US criteria, but the 2013 changes make triumphs more difficult without proof of severe damage. Legal professionals, such as Carter Ruck, anticipate a drawn-out conflict pretrial period of 12 to 24 months conflicts pertaining to jurisdiction and admissibility. The period of disclosure might discover private emails, palace remarks, as well as Oprah's production records that disclose communications possibly embarrassing for both parties. The Sussex legal team, toughened by prior successes, like Samantha Markle's 2024 lawsuit, which was dropped, may respond with unwavering defenses like veracity or sincere viewpoint. Settlement is still feasible in relation to private compensation or reciprocal non-disparagement accords, reflecting prominent situations involving celebrities and avoiding the spotlight of a trial held in public. By going to court, King Charles takes action, indicating a contemporary proactive response to alleged libels, establishing new standards for organizations battling narrative warfare, while striking a balance between public, truth, and private responsibility. Reactions from the public divided sharply. Tabloids in the UK praised the action as long overdue justice, with surveys indicating 75% assistance. Progressives condemned it as censorship, mirroring criticisms from The Guardian. Free expression was highlighted by US media. Historical sources were drawn from Europe. Similarities. Polls from October 2025 showed the gap. 68% of people approve of Charles. Meghan is at 21%. Social media exploded, with the hashtag royal lawsuit trending globally. For Meghan, feminist organizations mobilized. Charles was supported by monarchists. Effects spread to donors, charities, and more general conversations about media responsibility. As the case develops, for Meghan, the stakes are tremendous. Born in 1981, her journey from a biracial family to actress who exemplifies ambition and becomes a duchess scrutinized. But her activism from UN addresses to programs pertaining to art confronts new challenges. Harry, the backup, became an advocate and fights with family alienation. His legacy as an Invictus preserved, but interpersonal relationships deteriorated. Charles' reign, who is currently known for his assertiveness modernity, strikes a balance between authority and the difficulties with public opinion. Surveys point to a monarchy that stabilizes. Catherine and William solidify their stewardship, putting equality first, upbringing, and the integrity of the institution. The lawsuit might start a conversation or widen gaps, but it highlights the adaptation of monarchy in the digital era where custom, responsibility, and narrative control collides. As this tale occurs, the world keeps a close eye on it, examining each action, each assertion, as well as each tactic. The harmony between obligations, family, and public perception has never been more unstable. How the monarchy handles this trial might determine its legacy for decades to come. If you find yourself captivated by trying to strike these royal dynamics, click the bell and subscribe so you, as history continues, never miss a second. To develop. Additionally, if you'd like more detailed royal analysis, share it in a comment. Which royal quarrel would you like us to end? Down.